Beautiful day on this Monday. Wish we had that every day at the State Track and Field Championships over the weekend in Bismarck. Once again, Sam Getzinger filling in for Dom Izzo this morning. Let's go back and chat a little bit more about the Track and Field Championships as we welcome in our first guest of the morning, Spencer Ruebke, the newly minted Class B Girls Track Coach of the Year. First of all, congratulations on that. Congratulations on a very successful weekend as well. Have you been able to catch your breath at all?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think I'm still pretty wiped out from the weekend. I am glad it's over. It was exhausting, but it was packed full of fun. All 3 days were very different from Thursday to Friday to Saturday, but kept us on our toes, and there was always something to look forward to each day. So yeah, I'm exhausted, but it was quite the weekend. A lot of fun.
I'm curious about that because we asked a lot of the athletes, especially on Friday, what it was like to compete in the downpour that we had. Most of them said it didn't really affect the events, but I imagine in between, that had to have been just brutal standing in that all day.
Yeah, we tried to... It was a good problem. Our kids kept wanting to come down and watch their teammates, and we kept kicking them back to the tent. So it's a good problem to have because they wanted to be out supporting the teammates, but then we had to be the ones that just chase them away and go get dry and get a poncho on and that type of thing. And yeah, our kids handled that really well, I thought.
74 team points in total for the Hillsboro Central Valley girls to win the Class B girls title. To now be a two-time defending state champion, what does that mean for you and this team?
Yeah, each day we just said, like, focus on what you can control. There were some other teams that were scoring a lot of points, and some of our kids get a little caught up in like watching that on the athletic.net website or watching those team points and getting a little worked up about it. And we just said, no, stop, just focus on what we can control. We're gonna get our points too. So yeah, that was awesome. And I guess I wouldn't be a coach if I didn't say I think we left a few points on the table. I'm not gonna say that too many times. I'm not gonna get too picky. We're happy to win it, but yeah, it's like there's always things you can improve on, and we bring back a lot of our kids next year, and so that's really exciting. And honestly, throughout the season, we didn't really talk a whole lot about the fact that we won it last year. It was just kind of like on to the next goal, on to the next year. And same with this weekend. We had a champion on Thursday, and we like got back to the hotel, talked about it briefly, and it's like, now let's talk about Friday. Friday, we had, a state record fall. We had some good things happen. We talked about it briefly, and let's talk about Saturday. So we probably won't talk too much about this state championship before the kids are like, all right, when's my next sport start? Right. And what are we going to do next year? And it's kind of fun that way. And our kids are kind of on the same page as the coaches with that.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, Spencer Ruebke joining us, the track coach over at Hillsboro Central Valley. For those that watch the state track and field championships over the last couple of years, it's hard to miss her. There's no doubt about that. We're seeing some video of her now. Claire Grindy, as an eighth grader, is just so fun to watch. She is dominant in the distance events. What can you say about what she has been able to do against high school competition at such a young age?
Yeah, it's a challenge sometimes in practice because you got to try to find ways to challenge her and push her, and even like in the meets as the season goes on, like where can we bring her where she can have someone to run with or someone who can actually beat her. And we ended up bringing her down to the Howard Wood relays, and that was a great experience for her in Sioux Falls because she didn't take first in her events and she was pushed. And I think that really helps with an athlete like that because it is challenging at times. And we'll give her, we'll have a workout, we'll give her goal times, and she looks at us like we're crazy with how fast we're telling her she has to run her reps. But I don't know what else to do. You gotta, you really have to try to find creative ways to challenge a kid like her. And she takes it on, and she's very self-motivated. She'll run all summer. She'll run on the weekends. She'll get in the weight room in the winter. So she takes it very serious. And she's a lot of fun to coach.
I thought her run in the 800 meter was, first of all, it was fun to watch, but it was just impressive, her ability to go stride for stride with Bryn Hansen, who was making a comeback in her senior season, and she just pushed and willed her way to the line. I thought that was one of her more impressive races.
Oh, for sure. That was the one I was like, while I was watching, I got very nervous. I mean, the 2 miles, she kind of ran away with it. The mile, you know, the 4x8, she kind of had a decent lead. So that 800 with 200 to go, Bryn came up on her hip, and we were actually watching the pole vault at the time. I'm like, uh-oh. And I think Claire's best decision in that race was to throw in a little surge with 200 to go and kind of keep Bryn out in lane 2 and keep her on her hip. Because at one point I was watching, I think it was the WDAY footage. It looked like Bryn had a step on her with maybe like 80 meters to go. Yep. Claire just had a little bit of strength in her left at the end of the weekend, and 2:13 is blazing fast. Yeah. Especially for just an 8th grader. So we're very proud of her.
Obviously, it's great to have your superstars, but if you want to win team titles, you have to have others that put up some points. And there's a couple other young stars on your team as well. Caroline Anderson and Kayla Mock were also middle schoolers. What are you guys putting in the water over there? These middle school runners are just so fun to watch.
Yeah, you're right. We couldn't have done it with just Claire, and we couldn't have done it without Claire. We needed all the pieces. And I mean, I have to give a lot of credit to the cross country program and those girls really work hard in the fall and put on a lot of miles in the fall. Well, in the summer training for cross country, and then in the fall in their cross country sport. And that really carries over to track, because all 3 of those girls are very good in cross country too. Caroline and Kayla both ran really tough. I actually think Kayla improved from cross to track. I think she's going to have a really good 8th grade season in cross country, Kayla Mock. So yeah, I don't know what's in the water, but I do give a lot of credit to the cross country coaches and the cross country team. I think those 3 hopefully can, you know, I know they're going to put in a good summer. So I'm sure the success is going to carry over.
You mentioned there was some events you guys left some points out there. Were there events where you may have over-succeeded this last weekend that caught your eye?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, if you just look at like seed times and rankings, like Kayla Mock wasn't supposed to score a point in the 2 mile or the mile. So we looked at that as bonus points. We kind of thought she had it in her, but we were happy to see her actually go and do it. Our 4x1 girls were ranked 18th, and they pulled out 8th, and they were just so tough in the rain and that prelim day on that Friday. Our pole vaulter, Mackenzie Potasic, outdid herself and got 6th. Our 4x4 girls were really impressive. So we definitely got some points from some other areas and got a lot of help that way. And we had some good, like, fun surprises and sneaky little personal records that maybe we weren't expecting, and a lot of contributions through the 19 events.
What was that bus ride home like?
Yeah, it was a little quiet at first, and then we got about halfway home, and it got pretty crazy and wild. And then as we got closer to town, all the fire trucks and ambulances and everything kind of escorted us in. And then it was really, it was a party, and loud music and sirens and horns, and the community really showed up for us, and so that was a lot of fun.
That's fantastic. Congratulations once again on a phenomenal effort over this last weekend. Really look forward to watching you and what your team can do in years to come, and I appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for the coverage. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Spencer Ruebke from Hillsboro Central Valley joining us on this Monday morning after the Burros take home another Class B girls state title with 74 points over the weekend. Let's take another break. When we come back, we are going to turn our attention from what happened last week to what's going to happen this upcoming weekend. Class A, Class B, girls softball, Class A and Class B baseball. We'll get you a full preview of what's to come. And we'll start with our old friend Scott Koss joining us from Central Cass on the other side of the break.